I feel like it's interesting that you guys brought up the 3 different points about like being canceled. Like you mentioned Andrew Tate as well as Kanye, H3, and in this case, Dr. Disrespect. And personally, Woody mentioned earlier, like,
sorry.
Well, I was going to say that Woody mentioned like, you know, what makes things so different. And I mostly agree with Harley, not just I think it's the intention, man, is really what it boils down to and what's really coming of it. Like, while I understand, yeah, you should be able to say things on the internet if they're crazy and don't make no fucking sense at all. When there's like actual people at risk is normally when people step in and they start saying, okay, we got to stop this. You know, I don't know much about Andrew Tate, but I know that I was seeing a ton of reports that are not verified, that parents were hearing 12-year-olds calling women bitches and saying that you work for me and stuff like that. Like that's shit that's impacting people's lives, you know, at which point they have to consider that. Do I say it's right or wrong? Not necessarily, but
that's
I view that as
problem, not an Andrew Tate problem.
It really, that's very much arguable, you know, like why does your kid have access to be able to consume this constantly?
Well, so how do you take it away from him though in the 21st century?
Because I fight back against the access thing. I'm sorry, Kyle, but I'm kind of agreeing with you. Yeah. You got to lock down kids really freaking tight if you want them not to see Instagram and TikTok.
Definitely. They play on their phones, right?
How do you keep Google away from a kid?
Yeah,
you have to have the lamest kid ever if your kid is not going to know what like double penetration looks like by the time they're 12.
It's the era we're in.
If they didn't go to rotten.com by 11 years old,
that's where we went.
See the shot glass.
Remember the cornucopia of penises? Like they were all like it was like 50 penises and it all like edited together in a giant spiral on Rotten.
I don't think I got that one.
Harley said something about Andrew Tate that burned into my mind. Is kind of accurate. If Andrew Tate had been given a little more time, a little more rope, he would have hung himself for sure.
I said that about Kanye. Yeah,
maybe.
I actually think if he was given more
Kanye
time,
too.
I think Andrew Tate would be an even bigger deal.
I'm surprised he doesn't go with Andrew.
I see these really clever guys who seem like they're impervious. I see these really clever guys who seem like they're impervious to criticism. Like Joe Rogan is a good example of that. Like, how are they ever going to start knocking Joe Rogan? Well, then they do. Then they're like, him and his monkeys, and they find an angle to attack. Ben Shapiro is a really good speaker.
Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan, those are like jokes. Just like H3 is up there. All these people get heat sometimes, but they're there and they're performing and they're consistent. They have different ideas, but
they're hard to knock over. But people are finding attack vectors on.
But it's not like Andrew Tate or SNEAKO or Kanye. And that is so funny that you're like, Andrew Tate, SNEAKO, Kanye. Kanye, you're over here. Sit over here in this part of the room with Andrew Tate and SNEAKO. This is where you sit now, Kanye.
What am I doing with SNEAKO?
You don't know SNEAKO?
I don't.
All knows he got canceled.
SNEAKO's like Andrew Tate came and like SNEAKO was like the mini second coming almost. But
Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, he flew too fast, too high, too far, and they clipped the wings right away. He also got banned,
dude.
Like he got hit with that. Like Twitch is like, you're banned on Twitch, and he's like, I don't have a Twitch account. They're like, well, you can't make one. You're banned. And like I also like I think like I saw SNEAKO like old videos, and he's just a content creator, and he made old like videos, and he was there. He's like, it looks like a 13-year-old boy. And like, he's talking about like gender while playing Call of Duty. It's literally like, while you were playing Call of Duty videos, this 13-year-old's playing Call of Duty videos. And he's like talking about gender. It was just such a crazy, I thought, a thing for such a young guy to be talking about. And it was really interesting. And he did make interesting content. And some of it was like fascinating. And he seemed like pretty smart, and he was young. Then the Andrew Tate stuff happened, and he like really took to that. Like really serious. He's very like, they don't want to hear me talking the truth. This bitch needs to get fucked in her ass. And then it's like, you're in trouble. And it's like, oh, you don't like the truth? And it kind of like, he went down this path. I'm really simplifying it. And they banned him. He was making videos with like,
he's doing it wrong. What he needs to do is pick out a half a dozen stats that support his cause, right? What's the average weight of a woman from this demographic? What is the average, who's filing for divorces? And then just beat the drum on those 6 facts. And people make a whole damn career.
He also was beefing. He was beefing on all sides with people. He was beefing with too many people all at once, too many communities and stuff. Like even Brandon Buckingham, who's been on the podcast, he said that he said that Brandon, he accused that he's short. He said that Brandon short was a short R, and he was That's short R. Short R is the R word that I don't say. There's long R, which I'm comfortable saying because I think I'm a little retarded. But the short R is the one that I actually don't say. I think it's triggering for people. But he used the short R.
I don't know either of these words, but I'm pretty sure the short R.
No, long R.
You make love to somebody without their consent when they don't.
Yeah, and long R is retarded.
You can almost make wine from it, is what I was trying to get out. That's the short R, right? Grapes.
What? Oh yeah, grapes.
Yeah.
So, guys, sorry to everyone listening. I'm sorry. We're sorry Taylor's not here. Brandon, he SNEAKO said that about him, and Brandon kind of had like a whole thing, and like they like went to war. Well, Brandon did actually, SNEAKO never really provided any receipts for that, and I think Brandon took that pretty seriously. I don't know much about Brandon. I just watched him online over the last like 8 months, but it looked like he took that really seriously, and it was kind of ugly. But that's just an example of how SNEAKO was beefing from all sides, literally everywhere. They clipped his wings, and you know what? Like he kind of like you kind of fuck around and you find out on YouTube. You fuck around, you find out. You know when you're fucking around. I know when I'm fucking around. There's sometimes I say things here and I'm like, I don't know if I should have said that. He pushed that, and he pushed it really hard, and then and he found out. Is that mental hospital stay true, by the way? Zach put that there because I always wondered. How do you know?
Sorry.
What I don't know the context, and I can see the chat. I'm sure the audience is lost. Who stayed in a mental hospital? SNEAKO?
Brandon uploaded a video from a mental hospital being like, I asked for a weighted blanket. They said they didn't have weighted blankets. Why would they lie to me? And so I broke into someone's room, and what did I find there? A weighted blanket. So why did they lie to me about it? And he's like in a hospital gown, and he's got like the bracelet, and he's in the hospital gown, and he's like in a mental hospital. Now people are like, mental, but and I'm so sorry, and I'm not going to discount it at all. I don't know anything. I really don't know. All I know is what people show me online. So I'm not saying anything.